I learned. There's like this 30 to 40 minute video in one of the modules where Dan talks about this is what happens when you start chasing. And he breaks down what the thought process of the girl, like, oh, she's gonna start thinking, oh, is this guy good enough for me? And he breaks it all the way down to exactly what happens if you're in this position. Now, if you're in the position of she's chasing you, now she's gonna start thinking like, oh, I must really like this guy because I'm so invested in him. It's just basic human psychology of what Dan picked up over the years of his poker and his vast experiences with women, And he basically just breaks it down to what happens when a woman starts chasing you, because like you don't want to build your relationship on poor foundation. So if you start simping early on, if she's already disrespecting you, if she's already walking all over you during the dating phase, what's going to happen when you guys get into a relationship? But if you start your foundation on a strong foundation, then now when you get into the relationship phase, she's more attracted to you. Everything just works out a lot better. It's kind of like if you build a house, right? You want a strong foundation. When disasters come, when a storm comes, a house with weak foundation is just going to blow apart. But if you got your foundation down, you're all good to go. And I think a lot of guys, will have objections like, oh, Dan's fame is the reason why he gets all these girls. No, it's actually the opposite. The reason why Dan got famous in the first place is because he got these girls in the first place. Because he had all these hot women is the reason why he became famous. He first got the girls with his mindset, and then he started posting on social media, and that's how he became famous, right? So it doesn't really make sense to say his fame got the girls because he was already getting the girls before the fame. And I also know a lot of guys will have other objections like, oh, I got to look a certain way. I got to be 6 feet tall. I got to make $100,000. I got to have the six-pack abs or whatever, right? I mean, those definitely can help you, but they're not everything. It's like if you have all this, if you're super athletic, you're a model, for example, but if you're simping for her and you're chasing her, well, it doesn't matter. If you're all like buying her flowers, buying all these watches, and basically doing a lot of high perceived effort compared to low perceived effort, she's not gonna perceive that attractive, and she's gonna talk to somebody else, man. So it's like, these limiting beliefs that we're taught at such a young age is just utter garbage. Or the one about being an Asian guy, right? I never really had a problem with dating the different races, but I know a lot of Asian guys are like, oh, I'm Asian, girls won't find me attractive, I can't really date, a white girl, whatever the heck they want to date. But that's also garbage, because Dan actually has a coach in the program who has, I believe Dan said he's like, the coach has got laid way more compared to any other billionaire or millionaire he knows, athlete or model, because he had this freaking mindset. He knew how to trigger attraction, get a girl to chase, and eventually, get her invested into him. So that's why if that Asian guy can do it, so can you if you're Asian. That you should make no excuses that you can't achieve it when another guy has already achieved it. So those limiting beliefs that we have are not real. And Dan will teach you how to overcome them in his program. And on top of that, I really like the community in there, man. It's like if you there's that quote, if you surround yourself with like 5 winners, you become the next winner. Or if you conversely, if you surround yourself with 5 losers, well, you become the next loser. So this community is a very supportive community where not only it's very supportive, but also at the same time, just being in that environment helps you grow even more. Like if I were to be by myself, it wouldn't be the same. It's because I'm in this type of environment, getting all this information that it's starting to internalize in my own brain. On top of that, you can also ask questions to the coaches. There's coaches in the program that you can ask questions to. So you can ask questions in the forums if you're struggling with any particular aspect in your dating life, or have a question, maybe something that occurred during your date. You can share your wins, for example, your fumbles. It's such a great community to be in. And there's also coaching calls, weekly coaching calls with currently 2 coaches right now, and there's also monthly coaching calls with Dan Blizerian. So if you have any questions, you can bring them to the coaching calls and get them answered. And there's modules on how to get your mindset right, erase those limiting beliefs, for example. There's modules on the attraction triggers, and then there's chasing mechanisms. There's phases on freaking social media, and there's a bunch of PDF files with the charts that I talked about earlier, PDFs on text game as well, and there's much more than what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the tip of the iceberg. But